The most disgusting Void Hunter build you can ever create. Loads and loads of damage, loads and loads of invisibility, infinite debuffs, unkillable, everything ticked. Just look at the state of this. I'm just running around without an absolute care in the world. And in fact, some of these clips I was actually WhatsApping my wife. So look at the state of it. You can actually just run around, take the mickey out of these enemies, volatile them, debuff them, infinite invis. On top of that, you're going to do an absolute crap ton of damage as well. So stay tuned, I'm going to break it all down. This full build revolves around the best aspect on the Hunter, Stylish Executioner. Defeating a weakened, suppressed or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. So every time you kill something that's got a void debuff, weakened, suppressed or volatile, you're going to come invisible. Now an exotic on the Hunter, Gyrfalcons and Heartshadow, this is just S tier combo, because every time you come out with invisibility, you are going to gain volatile rounds on your void weapons. And when you're invisible and defeat combatant while using a finisher, all of your weapons gain bonus damage. Paired that with Stylish Executioner, it's absolutely crazy. And on top of that, we're going to have void debuffs everywhere. Hence, we're going to create loads and loads of these little void breaches, which we're going to take full advantage of in this video as well. So we're going to be in and out with invisibility, creating volatile everywhere, debuffing everything, proccing that Stylish Executioner. And then we're going to be taking full advantage of these void debuffs, full advantage of the void breaches with Unto the Bridge. Defeating a void debuff target creates a void breach. So with Gyrfalcons and Stylish Executioner, a void debuff is just easy mode because of all these debuffs here, the weaken, suppression and the volatile. So we can always get these breaches. So every time you pick one of them up, you're going to get a protective sort of overshield. When we're running protective breach as well, picking up a void breach gives you an overshield or refreshes your existing overshield. So them two are an absolute perfect pairing. And on top of that, to add to the debuff side, the weakening effect supernova, pick up a void breach, causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. So we've got infinite volatile, infinite invisibility with Stylish Executioner and Gyrfalcons, and we've got infinite weakening effects like so, just picking up them void breaches, giving you an overshield. Another thing, infinite overshields as well, which is absolutely disgusting. Now, one of the weapons that is, again, one of my favourite weapons is Heartshadow S tier sword. It's a void sword. Heavy attacks made with full sword energy, turn you invisible and fire exploding void projectiles. Now, obviously, that is absolutely perfect for Stylish Executioner and absolutely perfect for Gyrfalcons and Heartshadow. But it's also got the perk on there, Shot in the Dark. Remaining invisible grants this weapon increased damage for a brief duration. Hitting a target with this weapon's projectiles while Shot in the Dark is active. It also weakens them, but this actually got changed just towards the beginning of this season. So you don't have to use your heavy attack when you're invisible to weaken enemies now. You can use the light attack and that is also going to weaken. Pair that with the supernova and all the void breaches that you've seen, and this thing just absolutely rinses enemies, mages, minors, and it's also exceptional for obviously just going invisible, but coming in and out of your invisibility with your Gyrfalcons and Heartshadow and the Stylish Executioner. Heartshadow is an absolutely S tier sword now, in my opinion. It absolutely dispatches any type of champion, and on top of that, it's actually really good for team play as well, because you do plenty of damage with it yourself. And when you've got that Shot in the Dark active, any of your attacks is going to weaken the enemy as well. So it's really good for your teammates if you're doing close quarter DPS like this, and it's really good for yourself because you've got all them different ways of going invisible. And then if you really are in the doo-doo, you can just use your sword to go invisible as well. Use your heavy attack and it's just free infinite invis, but it does plenty of damage now. It's absolutely crazy. And I also stack 3 weapon surges on my legs as well to boost that damage even more, which we'll go into a bit more at the end. But some other weapons and other perks that are really good. Repulsor Brace is just absolutely nutty with Gyrfalcons and Stylish Executioner. Defeating a void debuff target is going to give you an overshield. We've also got Unto the Breach as well going on from the seasonal artifact. Destabilising rounds, final blows, cause nearby targets to become volatile. So everything working together. You can see here, I don't have my dodge for invis, I don't have a grenade, I haven't got no invis, but all I've got to do is just shoot that enemy, and that's going to get that destabilising rounds and you're set to go. That's going to proc your Stylish Executioner, and you're just in and out of invisibility. So how can you possibly die on this build if you're invis 95% of the time? You cannot. It's really hard to die on this build. Now I've seen a lot of these unkillable builds, but this one really is unkillable unless you do something really daft, which I have done in the past, like jumping off a map or something like that. But other weapons, something like Ness's Ablation, that's also got repulsor brace on there. It's a really strong shotgun from the raid. I'm not going to go through every weapon that's got repulsor brace destabilizing rounds, but it's just an option and it's a combo you should keep an eye out for this build. Destabilizing repulsor, keep an eye on them, they're absolutely perfect combo. Now we're just going to show you some more clips on how easy certain things are with this build. I just throw my grenade down there. You can use any grenade. I like to stick to suppressor grenade, but that's going to weaken and again proc that Stylish Executioner for your invisibility. And then you're going to come out of there and you're going to have volatile rounds from your Gyrfalcons. Echo of Cessation is a really good fragment to run, because every time you finish something you're going to do a burst of volatile like that, so you're invisible and you're just going to push enemies away and spread that volatile even more. And again, that's excellent for your teammates as well, because that's just going to spread that volatile, do loads of damage as well. That's another thing I haven't really touched on as well. The actual volatile rounds do some really nice damage as well, especially if you're up close like this. It's absolutely nuts. So infinite invisibility, infinite volatile, loads of damage, weakening effects galore. This build has got absolutely everything and it is really hard to die. So I'm just going to go over my fragments and aspects now. So Stylish Executioner, that's the main one. We've already talked about that one, so I'm not going to keep you too much on that one. Vanishing Step is the other aspect I like to run, because every time you dodge you're going to go invisible. Obviously then you're going to come out your invisibility. Your Gyrfalcons is going to proc as well. Suppressor Grenade or Vortex Grenade, either of them two. I really enjoy Suppressor Grenade. It is such a good debuff suppression. Gambler's Dodge, so you can keep dodging to get your smoke back. Echo of Cessation, this is an excellent one as well, which we've already touched on. Echo of Undermining, so your grenades weaken. Echo of Reprisal is one to really consider, because you're up close and personal with sword and shotguns. And Echo of Obscurity, finish your final blows, grant you invisibility. Now I'll quickly just go over my mods. On my class item, Reaper is too much of a good mod not to run for a hunter. Every time you use your class ability, your next final blow is going to spot on an orb of power. I also run time dilation to extend our armor charge time, so we've got plenty of time for our surges. And then I also run bomber. You use your class ability quite a bit, so you get loads of grenade energy back. And then I stack 3 weapon surges, void for the 22% extra damage, so I just max out my damage on that. On my arms, firepower for grenade kills for orbs. Bolstering detonation gives you class ability when you do damage with a grenade. And I also like to run focusing strike, getting class ability with melee damage as well. So 2 class ability regen mods on my arms, and then on my helmet I run Void Siphon, obviously, because I tend to stick to void weapons. I also like to run a heavy ammo finder, and I also like to run this one here, Radiant Light, because every time you cast your super it causes nearby allies to also increase their current armor charge. So that's the video. I'll leave everything playing out, my full build preview, and I'll also leave a dim link in the video description. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this build. Have a great day.